Hello, and welcome to this quick professional development training today. My name is Stephanie. I am your veteran special education teacher, IEP coach, and board certified inclusive education specialist. And I want to share this post here that I saw in a Facebook group recently. It was just a regular special education Facebook group. And I wanted to share my response to this, but also give a common courtesy PSA as to just sharing information in general in Facebook groups. So the first thing is, let me read what this post says, what the question is. The overall question was, is this too ambitious of a goal? So an IEP goal, is it too ambitious? We know with SMART goals, they have to be SMART, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, results bound or results oriented, and time bound, right? So they shared the goal. And again, I shared it here if you want to go back and see it. Given explicit phonics instruction, the student will accurately read words containing advanced phonics patterns, R-controlled vowels, variant vowels, and multisyllabic words with 85% accuracy in 4 or 5 trials as measured by decoding probes and teacher data. I'm not going to get into the 85% accuracy. I'm going to link another video that we have here on YouTube that is all about choosing 80% accuracy all of the time for all of the goals. And I'm sharing that because you're going to understand in a minute. So make sure you watch that as well. We're not going to talk about that yet today. So that was the main goal. The short-term objectives were then decode R-controlled vowel words with 85% accuracy. So A, R, E, R, I, R, O, R, and U, R. Decode variant vowel words, O, I, O, U, A, W, A, U, O, W with 85% accuracy. And decode multisyllabic words using syllable division patterns with 85% accuracy. This person, it was an anonymous post, so I don't know if it was a male or a female teacher, but they said the only thing is the baseline is different for each. I just don't want to only pick one objective and increase the accuracy over the year, as I feel like we master these decoding goals faster. What are your thoughts? Okay, here are my thoughts. The good thing here is that they mention baseline data. So you have the baseline data. How do you know if a goal is too ambitious or if it's not quite ambitious enough? So let's go back to talking about baseline. This teacher already has the baseline data, so I'm really excited about that. We have to use that baseline data and data from the previous year's IEP to determine what our goal criteria should be. I'm going to link a podcast episode on the Intentional IEP podcast all about choosing goal criteria. So make sure you check that out. We're not going to go into that as well. But basically, what you want to do when you have baseline data is you want to, one, get the baseline. So baseline with supports and baseline without supports. So what does that mean? So if we have baseline and you are I'm going to use one of these, decode R-controlled vowel words. Give them a couple of activities or have a lesson ready to go where you're working on that skill and give them the work or take data on them performing that skill with no supports, no accommodations, no STI, no modifications, nothing. See where they are. Even if it's 0% for the baseline with no supports, that is still a data point. Okay. Then you're going to do the same thing over again. And now you're going to provide the supports. So whatever those accommodations are, modifications, STI, whatever you want to provide, make sure you note what supports you're providing when you took that baseline, because if they work, you're probably going to want to put them into the child's IEP, right? So now we have baseline with supports, baseline without supports. Let's say without supports, it's 0% accuracy. Let's say decode R-control vowel words with supports, we're at 40% accuracy. Okay. So the Facebook post says 85% accuracy. How do you know if that's too ambitious now? So without supports, we're at 0, and we have to get to 85. With supports, we're at 40, and we have to get to 85. Now, 45% accurate, 45% mastery to grow in mastery, 45% over the next annual IEP year may be too ambitious for some students. It may not be ambitious enough for other students. How do you know from here? This is where you have to go back into the previous year's IEP. Decoding R-controlled vowel words. So that's an ELA, language arts goal, right? That is the academic area that falls under. And so you want to go look at those goals and you want to find the average growth that the student makes in that academic area, generally over a year, right? So if we go back and let's just say the student's name is Stephanie. We go back and we look at Stephanie's goals from last year to see how much progress she's made. We have our baseline without supports at 0. We have our baseline with supports at 45%. And let's just say, according to the data from last year's IEP and maybe even the year before, she makes about 20% gains in the ELA language arts academic area as a whole. Okay. So now I have my supports, my baseline with and without supports. We're at 40% with supports. I want to set it at 85, but if I take that 40 and I add the 20, we're only going to be at 60. So now you have to think, is 85% too ambitious for this student? It's probably going to be, right? You could set it at 70, and that might be a little more in line with where that student might fall. They might make it to 85% accuracy. That would be fantastic, right? But is 85% attainable for that student? Now let's go back to the same example. Let's go back and say maybe Stephanie in ELA language arts over the last 2 IEP years makes about 55% growth in that academic area of mastery per annual IEP year. So now we have our 40% from the baseline with supports and the 55 from the average of the last 2 years. 40 plus 55 is 95. So maybe now the 85 is not ambitious enough. Do you see how you make the determination of if you're using percent accuracy for that criteria measurement, how it could be too ambitious or not ambitious enough, and how you determine that? Now, let's also talk about the flip side of this, where we're asking for advice in Facebook groups. I'm not against it. I have my own Facebook group that I run. It's Mrs. D's VIPs. I'll link it in the video here. You can go join it as a free group. There's over 40,000 special education teachers and IEP members in that group. And we provide help for all of the different questions that we get in our group every single day. Here is my PSA. 1, make sure that you are protecting student confidentiality. So there was nothing wrong with this post. There's nothing that gave any student information away. You just want to make sure that you are protecting students per FERPA guidelines and laws and all of the things. So I'll link a blog post at the Intentional IEP all about FERPA and what that is. So if you want to read more about it and learn exactly what it is and what it means. So that's 1. 2 is take advice that you get from Facebook groups with a grain of salt. I say this because I've seen it time and time again, especially in parent IEP groups, where the advice may seem like a good idea, but it's not good advice. Does that make sense? So for example, on this specific post in this Facebook group, there were 23 comments. The majority of them said, yes, it's too ambitious. My question on this post was, well, what is the baseline? Basically, my response here in this video is what my response was on that post. It's hard to tell you without more information, but like you can't share more information because of FERPA. So it's really, really hard to get specific advice from Facebook groups. This was a great question. It provided this learning opportunity for a lot of people. But just again, grain of salt, make sure you're abiding by FERPA, but also that when you're asking for advice, you're giving as much context as you can without identifying the student, right? And just take the comments with a grain of salt. You know your students best. Your data is going to point you in the right direction. And I'll just leave it at that. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe here on our YouTube channel. Follow us on the Intentional IEP's Instagram and Facebook profile. Join our newsletter. All of the things are linked below in the video description. And I will see you in the next training.